Hey guys, so I'm just here to review 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days. More so of like a summary of what we've seen so far. I know we're on episode 9, season 5. I'll probably end up just wrapping up the couples that we've seen so far, as well as maybe those that have not arrived yet. This is just a summary of things. I know that everyone does every episode, but I am getting, like, I'm new to this whole YouTube ordeal, right? I'm trying to get like familiar with everything. Bear with me. But if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, like the girls say, you know. So let's just go through couples and just like my thoughts so far on each one of them. Let's get the ridiculous ones out the way. Gino and Jasmine. We don't care. Their storyline is fake. It's not real. It's very fake. Jasmine is giving her best Oscar-worthy performance, and it sucks. It sucks. It's not believable. The tears that does not fall while you are heavily crying out. I don't believe it. They're both acting. They're not even together. I just don't believe this. I wish 90 Day Fiancé went back to the times where it was actual couples and not people trying to get their Instagram followers or pursue out of these careers, these Hollywood careers and things. Let's get back to the foundation of the show. You know, at least find you people that are entertaining and realistic, right? Just my thought. Who else? So we're past that. I don't believe them. I don't care about the storyline about him, you know, showing some ex her photos. What ex? This man doesn't give me the type that has had exes, like recent ex that you've kept in contact with. I just don't. This whole storyline is fake. Moving on. Another storyline that I don't care about is Mahogany and Ben. Ben, you're a fool. Ben, that storyline gives me fake too. Ben is midlife crisis. He screams it, right? And Ben is an admitted, you know, fitness model, you know, for 50-plus-year-olds. Like, I don't know. And this just gives me, let me increase my Instagram followers and my notoriety so I can do more within the Hollywood modeling world of things. Ben is chasing, after leaving your dowdy wife, once you discover that, you know, at least you know, you got your confidence up, you're getting hot for a 50-year-old. You leave your dowdy wife, the mother of your children, and now you go chasing girls, young women, whatever you want to call them. But you go chasing girls who are like a year or two older than your children. Ben. Then you get catfished by a girl before. And it's Mahogany, just like your daughter said, the photos look very fake. You want to convince us that you're in love. Ben, go to hell. Go to hell. Please. Then you get off the airport and you're crying. Mahogany told you don't bring your ass. Her and Pappy. Pappy didn't agree with her dealing with you. You still chose to bring yourself down there. Ben, whose fault is it that you're now in the parking lot crying? I would be lying if I said I didn't chuckle once or twice. Because you're ridiculous. Then during this episode, you say that she messages you when you tell her that you're going to like another city, that the only thing she messaged you was that the city you're going to is like far from Lima, I guess the other place that she's at. And you're like, I mean, what does that mean? It means that it's not near where she said it's at. Ben, you lack comprehension. Like, Mahogany has been very straightforward. And you're just like, what does this mean? Does this mean something else? It means what it says. It means exactly what it says. It's not near. Just like it meant when I said that I'm like, don't bring your ass, and you still came. And you want the viewers to give a damn. Bingo to hell. So yeah, we're done with that. Who else? I don't care for. I forget her name. You know, like the big woman that lives out in the country that's obsessed with Japanese film and art and culture. But you're dating a man from China. Is he China? Is he Korea? You're dating a guy that's not Japanese, sis. And then as he is giving you his fears of, you know, coming to the States and things like that, what killed me was, like, what is her name? I forget her name. But what kills me is that you go and you think that once he comes to America, that he can help you lose 10 pounds. And I'm not, you know, body shaming or fat shaming. That's not what I'm about. But respectfully, you got to weigh at least over 250, right? You know, maybe 3, something around. Like, you're definitely up there. What the hell is 10 pounds going to do? 10 pounds didn't do shit for me. What is 10 pounds going to do? Girl. Let's move on for them. Because 90 Day Fiancé, TLC didn't even much bother to put them inside this episode. I haven't seen them in a couple of episodes, to be honest with you. Let's move on from them. Okay, Caleb and Alina. Alina, you have spent since episode 1 pressuring Caleb to do all types of things for you. Okay, like Alina, what I gather from you guys' interaction, like Caleb knew that you were a little person. And I think that when people are just like I look on social media and people are just like, well, I mean, what did he expect? Like, you know, you're insensitive. You didn't know about her disability. No, like, it's incorrect to assume that every little person is not independent. Like, you can look at Little Women, LA, Atlanta, Texas. They're just, like, majority of them are just little people. Like, they're just small in stature, right? Like, certain things they can't do involves height, right? But for the most part, a lot of those women on those shows, they're just small in stature. Alina is small in stature and she's disabled. I don't think, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think she informed Caleb of her being disabled. And if she did, I don't think she detailed the extent of her disability. I don't think so. I think it was like, oh, you know, sometimes I get tired here and there. I may grab my chair for the most part. Not to where 95% of the time you need that chair. Right? Like 95%. Not, oh, you know, I get tired from walking for so much that. No, like 95% of the time you need that chair. 95% of the time you need some form of assistance. And I also understand where it's like a level of comfortability for you to even share that side with someone, right? So I want to be respectful and understanding that. But if you weren't comfortable to share that, like the depths of your disability with Caleb, then how are you now forcing and, you know, demanding some form of a relationship? And he's just now getting the full extent of what a relationship will be like with you. And Caleb has been honestly very respectful through this whole ordeal, right? Like, he's been very much open with his feelings, very much, you know, respectful and trying not to be hurtful with you. And you got to appreciate that. Because you said that the last guy just went and just up and left. And if I'm guessing, who knows if that's part to do with it, right? Is that he's realizing that, you know, I don't know if I can deal with this. And it's hurtful because these are things that are outside of your control, Alina. However, though, you know, we can't go forcing, you know, someone to be there if they don't want to be there, right? It doesn't make them a bad person. I think that, you know, if he would have just went and used you up and then left off and not said why and led you on, he has not done that. Even y'all level of intimacy was pushed by you, sis. You pushed that. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. You know, I'm sorry that these things are happening, right? You can see like the hurt in her face because reality is hitting that, man, like, you know, I get to this point and this is what happens. And that sucks. I get that. But it's very clear that he didn't know the extent to what, even when he was speaking with his family during the first couple of episodes and his friends, you can clearly tell that he just assumed that you were just little stature, but not like the level of disabled, where you're even meeting him in a wheelchair, right? I don't think he realized that. Where you require 24-hour assistance. The man has not even gotten up to help you even get in the bed. Every time it's time for you to get in the bed. This man was meditating on the floor today, this episode. Meditating while you are like trying to climb up in the bed. This is a man that is not up for that level of responsibility. And you got to respect him for just being honest with you. No matter how much you hurt, you got to respect him for being honest with you. So there's that. What couple happened besides Gino? Oh, Memphis and Hamza. Memphis has to be the most annoying, ridiculous woman that has graced 90 Day Fiancé. And the crazy thing is that she thinks that she's being intelligent, but she's not. And you are handling him like a child. You literally came out there to marry a man, bring him back to the U.S., a man that you just met that you can't even communicate with. This is your first visit. You can't even communicate. You are, you know, like, cow? What's the sound? Moo, moo, moo. And this is who you want to bring back to the U.S. to be underneath the same roof with you and your children. Very irresponsible. But now you want to convince the audience, us, that you have a level of responsibility and of care for your children by starting the conversation of prenuptial, girl. And then saying that, well, you know, I think that he's not being forthcoming and honest. Then why are you still trying to marry him? You've only known him for a week. You've already pressured him to have sex underneath his mother's roof. And this was like day 1, day 2 of you being there. Talking about, if I don't know, then no marriage. He's like, okay. Right? Man, you just met. Word on the curb is that you're pregnant in these streets by him. I don't know, sis, but girl, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, Memphis, like you've been driving me crazy. So I can imagine you driving him to, like, you're constantly nagging him. You're constantly talking down to him. You're constantly belittling him. And then you're like, well, I don't want another child. Girl, first of all, once you bring him over, it's going to be a minute before he gets his green card. He's not going to get a green card right away. You should have looked these things up before you even decided to go to him, to force him to go to the embassy. You should have looked these things up, which means that you are going to be responsible for him. Your nurse practitioner's salary, yeah, you're going to be paying to take care of him. And then also, you're going to be responsible for him for 10 years, right? Okay, so with you knowing that, and or maybe you didn't look that up, I don't know. Like, Memphis is just, she's driving me up the wall, but it's ridiculous. But you're now saying that, I need you to, some money, you have savings, you have this, you're so ignorant to the reality of your situation and his situation. You're ignorant to his culture, hence the reason why you thought it was okay to lay up and have sex under his mother's roof, especially when that woman was so kind and nice to you. You're ignorant to who he is, where you're sitting over here having them, hey, go and bring your degree or something, written in a whole nother language. You don't even know what it says. You don't even know what it's for. And that degree, regardless, is not going to transfer over to the U.S. He'll still have to do it over again. Sis. I just, you annoy me more than anyone on this show in a long time. I think, you and Brittany, who was dating the guy, the guy from another season, the one that was, whatever, we're on this season. That's going to take an explanation. No. But yeah, you annoy me. You are probably one of the most annoying people this season. So there's that, girl. You're ridiculous. And that prenup talk means absolutely nothing because you'll still be responsible for him. So there's that. Once you bring him over, your prenup, girl, doesn't matter. You will be responsible for him. 10 years. Girl, what? But I guess prenup to protect whatever that the courts don't tell you to pay, since you'll still be responsible for him. I don't know. Let's move on. Mike and Amanda. Okay, Mike and Amanda. Child, listen. Amanda is doing this for a better life for her kids and her family. Let's be real. She is not attracted to Mike. She is grossed out by Mike. I'm grossed out by Mike. I'm grossed out by Mike. Mike is gross. Mike is gross. And I'm sorry to say that. Mike, you farting on top of this girl. You burping, with your mouth open in front of her family. That is not ADHD. That's just a lack of manners. That you're gross. You got skid marks in your drawers. That's just poor hygiene. Poor wiping practices. And you blame that on there because of her ignorance to a lot of those things, right? And you're saying that that's not a big deal. Here's the thing. This is what all Americans who are dating these foreigners on these shows. Stop acting as if just because you're in America that you get to get away with things, right? Because it's hey, well, I'm doing you this favor. No, that don't mean that we have to deal with that. That don't mean that a person has to put up with that because I'm in America. If Mike, I have a hard time believing that you just was farting on broads if you were dating in the U.S. and burping everywhere. That you even go to work and behave like that. I have a hard time. Maybe you do. I don't know you. But I do think that it's very, that's gross. That is so gross. I was grossed out at that just watching. So I can only imagine what Amanda is going through. And your farts probably stink too, probably ruining the mood. You run around here with skid marks. Gross. Gross. And it's just poor manners, lack of hygiene. Just gross. Just gross. So I was with Tamina on that, and I'm glad that she spoke up and she said something. Do I think that this is something that he will work towards changing? Maybe, maybe not. Like, I mean, this is 30 plus years of him behaving that way. I don't know. And then meaning you're about to come to the U.S., move in with him, his father, and his grandfather. Who knows if they all don't behave that way? And now you're stuck cleaning up after all of them. And your 2 boys. Rethink this, sis. I know that your ex was a hit man. I'm not telling you to go back to him. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, like, you know, there gotta be another way to make a better life for you and your children. It has to be, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I know that Mike has helped out with your whole family, considering that Papa and his wife was living with you. But I don't know. And I think that that's like what she's looking at is the bigger picture is that, listen, my whole family was in a rut and this man has helped out greatly. And sure, but I think that she is honestly grossed out with him. And we see from the future episode that he's having a hard time getting a hold of her, that she becomes distant once he leaves. Why are you becoming distant and we just got engaged? Once you leave. Yeah, she's grossed out. You came down here on your worst behavior. Sis. If you want to rethink things, rethink things. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's basically that. Oh, you know what? A bonus one, even though they weren't in this episode. But like I said, I'm doing a summary. Soulja Boy and Kimberly. Kim, I'm disgusted. Like, I'm so disgusted. And I'm embarrassed. I have secondhand embarrassment for you. Secondhand embarrassment says, I don't feel bad for you, though. Soulja Boy's not led you on. Soulja Boy has been very, very forthcoming with his thought process and how he's handling you and his intentions for you and y'all relationship on whether it grows or not. And I respect him for that. And Kimberly, you are a fan. You are exactly what his friends call you, a super fan. You are behaving as such. Soulja Boy, like with baby girl Lisa, Soulja Boy's already been used up by one old broad that treated him like some of the people on this show, the men and women on this show, some of the Americans on this show have treated those when they go off for, as if like it's tourist sex, right? So he's already been used up. You had hideous ass Lisa. And I call her that, not from physical, but more so on internal. Just horrible heart. Calling him the N-word and things. You know? And talking down to him and things like that. And then you thinking that the prize that you were giving him was raw sex. Forcing him to go down on your disgusting ass, Lisa. This man, can you imagine what he felt afterwards? Like, I remember where from Auntie's advice, she even spoke on, you know, a time period, you know, of course, during time of slavery, where the men weren't even allowed to deny that, right? And Lisa gave me that, you know, you're nothing but a sex toy for me, while you're calling him the N-word and forcing him to give you head. Like when Auntie spoke about a time period during slavery times where, you know, the men and women were being raped, right? Like, we all know this is a part of history, guys. But when she spoke on that, and when I think about Lisa and Soulja Boy, bingo. And I think that Lisa has traumatized Soulja Boy to the point where he's like, I'm not about to let another old woman come to use me up like that, right? Because I am something. I am something. Even if my music is terrible, Soulja Boy, I don't. That Lisa song that you had last time you were on, I chuckled. And I think that, but back to what I'm saying, I think that he just realized that, yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to let you guys use me up like that. And I want to make sure that this is real or whatever. Now, it's not about whether his intentions are using Kimberly or not. He's made it clear we're not sleeping again until we become boyfriend and girlfriend. So therefore, Kimberly, you playing yourself. The moment you brought your ass out there, you playing yourself. You did. Okay? And then you brought PS2s and, computers and things to entice him. And I mean, and now the last episode where you are begging him for sex, and then you start speaking about what you've done, as if you giving him this gift now guarantees you sex. And I think that in Kimberly's mind, Kimberly feels like, well, I'm better than Lisa, right? So therefore, it should be easier for him to have sex with me because, yeah, I may not be the best looking 50-year-old woman, but I'm better than Lisa, right? Lisa was a horrible person. Lisa was the bottom of the barrel scum. It's easy to be better than Lisa. So just because you are better than Lisa does not guarantee you access to this man's body. Okay? And then for you to bring your son into it. Threatening. Soulja Boy, stay your ass in Nigeria and away from Kimberly. Because that's the type that will call the cops on you. To go in and say that I'm going to get my son because of how you're treating me. How is he treating you when he's told you that you guys will not have sex until he feels like this is a relationship? And right now you guys are friends. I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you for what? When he hasn't even kissed you. And he hasn't promised you anything. And he is telling you this on national TV. You can't even say that he was promising you this beforehand. This man hasn't even given you a kiss. Yet you're asking him for sex. I wish a man would ask me for sex. And I haven't even given you a kiss. First off, don't ask me for sex, period. But let alone, we haven't even kissed. And now you're guaranteeing sex. And you're begging him, and you're pouting. And you come out in that granny muumuu gown that you thought was lingerie. You came out in that for a guy who's in his 30s, who is a musician, a struggling musician, but a musician nonetheless. And you thought that that would be enticing. And was like, yeah, no makeup. Because he likes it when I don't have any makeup. Yeah, maybe like on a regular basis, but sis, you was trying to get some. Give it your best shot. Whirl and twirl. Girl, fix yourself up. And you thought that $20 muumuu granny dress, nightgown, was going to get this man was going to get his stick to stand. And this is the man who hasn't even kissed you. Girl. But regardless of all of that, he doesn't owe you anything. I want Americans on this show to stop feeling like anyone owes them anything. I don't know what it is with the women this season. That, not all of them, but like Alina for sure, where you feel like Caleb owes you something. He hasn't owed you anything. The moment, like, you annoyed me when he got off the plane and he's tired, and after carrying you and doing 15 hours, you didn't show me any affection. Since I just got here. Like, very inconsiderate, right? And then I also feel like as far as your friend goes, I forget the friend, Alina. I'm back on Alina. The friend that like was helping and then he left the guy friend. I don't know what kind of things y'all got going on. But for him to have walked in on them having sex accidentally, no you didn't. Alina left that door open. And you walked in and was probably hoping that Caleb would be down for a threesome rendezvous. I may be reaching, but I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that. So yeah, so that's basically is my wrap up of things is of the summary for this season so far. So I mean, I can't wait to see what else comes. As I said, I'm getting used to this whole ordeal. So I'll have more videos or not, but you know, if you guys like it, like, comment, subscribe. Let's interact. You know, I want to do more of this. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.